This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. You can visit their store by using my referral link in the description below. So, we got some nice stuff here. Not a rare. It's barely playable. But you know, this is a great signpost. I don't love taking it first because the chances you end up in that exact color pair aren't huge. They're there, but they aren't massive. Flame Channeler is pretty nice in the right deck. But the real cards I think we're looking at here are Eaten Alive and Olivia's Midnight Ambush. I think those two are the best. And I think we take the Ambush. I like it a little more. You know, Eaten Alive needs a little bit of help to be optimal. Like, basically, if you're in blue-black or black-white, it's really great. But if you're in any other black deck, it's not nearly as good. Midnight Ambush is good in all of them. So yeah, I think we take Midnight Ambush. Yeah, I would love to end up in the deck. I mean, I've seen Ominous Roost go off lately, so I would be pretty happy. Man, it always sucks when you see a signpost uncommon that you don't take with your first pick, a great one, and then you see another copy of it in your second pick. It's kind of soul-crushing. I think we probably take the Farmhand. You know, its ability to just draw you a land and then also be a very relevant creature later in the game definitely matters. So I think that's what we take here. Yeah, I mean, Root Coil Creeper is the only other card in the pack that that is as good or better than the Ambitious Firebrand, or Farmhand rather. Okay, what do we have here? So the two cards I'm really looking at are Search Party Captain, nice little 2-for-1, or Phantom Carriage, nice big 2-for-1. I think I like the Captain a little more here. You know, it's not that hard to take advantage of the Carriage, but it's not like incredible. It's definitely playable in like basically every blue deck, but I think I like Search Party Captain a little more anyway, and the fact that we have a white card already kind of breaks that tie, I think. So, yeah. I do like the Astronomer a fair bit too, but not as much as those two cards. Okay. So, Hobbling Zombie's pretty good. I'm leaning a little toward Dawnheart Wardens here, though. Maybe just because it beat us. No, not exactly, but it's a strong signpost uncommon, and, you know, Hobbling Zombie's the only other card in this pack I would really consider over it. And I think the Wardens are better than Hobbling Zombie. So I think that's good enough for me. That's a pretty late Blade Stitched Scob, that is. So it's kind of worth thinking about seeing if blue-black's open. Flare of Faith, nice trick if we end up in a green-white or black-white deck. But I think Scob is good enough that I'm going to grab it here, and we'll see what happens. Okay, nothing special here, really. Decent stuff. You know, Defend the Celestis, I don't love. I like these cheaper tricks in this deck, and Pestilent Wolf is a decent 2-drop. I think maybe we go after the trick. I mean, the thing about the trick is we'll only play it basically if we end up in green-white or black-white, but, you know, Pestilent Wolf is definitely a worse card. So, yeah, I think we take Flare of Faith there. Yeah, I mean, green-white has access to some nice, cheap tricks that are flexible, too. Like, I don't love the one that gives +2/+0 and lifelink and gives you a 1/1 when the creature dies, but Flare of Faith, and then the Coven one, the +2/+2, then if you have Coven, draw a card. Those both are really good if you're in an aggressive deck in this format. Okay. Definitely just the cavalry here. You know, the equipment in this set just isn't very good. You end up playing it on occasion, but cavalry is much better. I mean, I should say, by the way, the common equipment. Because Mask of Gristlebrand is insane. I've had it 2 or 3 times, and it's been pretty bonkers. Seems like these were just sort of speculative picks at this point. Yeah, it's also another human, so I doubt we're playing blue-black. It hasn't seemed open at all, even though we saw that guy a little late. So here's the other trick I was talking about, and it's probably what we take here. This pack doesn't have anything good for anybody, basically. This is all right, but this is basically unplayable in best of one. This is moderately playable if you end up in a really good control deck. This isn't very good. This isn't very good. And this is why the werewolf deck isn't good, because these are the werewolf payoffs at common. Those are them. Nobody wants them. They're not good. And it's annoying. Bird Admirer or Soul Guide Griff. I think I like the Admirer a little more. It's a more defensive creature, certainly. And that matters. But I think I like it okay here over the Griff. Okay, so this equipment is better than the other one, but I still don't love it. So I think we're looking at Snarling Wolf or Rejuvenator. I think the Wolf seems a little better, because if we can just curve out and get Coven, like, that's just what we want to do. Rejuvenator might let us splash, like, Olivia's Midnight Ambush or something, but I'm not that excited about that. All right, so we'll grab Candlelit Cavalry number 2. One really hopes for, better top curve than the Cavalry, but it's not bad. We'll move this over here for now. All right, so, I think I like Howl of the Hunt more than the Mask. I don't like either of them very much, but Howl of the Hunt can be like, if you pull it off with it, it ends up feeling pretty good because it's a trick. Well, we don't really want to. Because it's basically a trick that sticks around. Like, it's kind of like putting +1/+1 counters on the creature. Not that that's a great card, especially if it's not a wolf or werewolf, but, Yeah, Catilda would be cool. Green-white rare would be awesome. We've had some really ugly pack one, pick ones in today's drafts, haven't we? Like, this one's not that ugly because Bloodline Culling is great. Like, if this were really... I didn't mean pack one, pick one. I meant, like, the later... When you open a pack after the first pack and you're like, I hope I have something great for what I'm doing so far, and then you open this, it's a pretty big bummer because none of this stuff is very good for us. The stuff that we can play. Here's the other trick that I don't love, and we've already got one each of the better tricks, so I'm not into it. I don't love Homestead Courage, though it's okay aggressively. Bloodline Culling is the best card in this pack by far, and these are good, like, build-aroundy type cards for the blue-red deck. God, I may just take Evolving Wilds. I think I will. I'm going to do it. Pack one, pick one, Evolving Wilds. That's what you want to do, isn't it? This pack has Ritual of Hope, which is pretty good if you can go wide effectively. Right now, we're not great at it, but we're okay at it. I think Clear Shot's probably the better pick for us at this point in the draft, just because it's a great removal spell. Ritual of Hope is nice. Maybe it wheels, but I think we take Clear Shot here. Here's another Dawnheart Wardens. I'm pretty pumped about that. I would love Gavany Silversmith in this deck. Wouldn't hate Commando or another Bird Admirer either, but we take Dawnheart Wardens number 2 here. Pretty late Diagraph Horde. I mean, I know it's only the 4th pick, but in this day and age, it's pretty late because that card's been so good. This thing's really great, too. But we take Loyal Griff. We're not going to, like... I guess we could rebuy Search Party Captain, which will matter sometimes. And, I guess, Ambitious Farmhand, which could matter sometimes. But mostly it's just a 3-mana 2/2 flyer with Flash. That's already a nice card, so... Okay, so I think we want the Trapper. It's a great 1-drop for this deck because it sets up Coven, and then you can, like, curve out and then tap down their only blocker, and that's pretty sweet. Okay, so I think Candlelit Cavalry is just way better than Dire Strain Brawler, Tireless Hauler. That said, I mean, the other cards in this pack aren't great. Bounding Wolf is kind of funny because you can sort of sneak in Coven at the end of their turn, but, I don't love it. Like I said, Bramble Armor is all right, but I guess we're going to take a Bounding Wolf here. None of that stuff was great. I think deck looks pretty solid so far. We could definitely use some more early drops. I mean, we've got 2 1s and 1 2 at this point, so... The 2-mana 3/1 with Coven would be good. I'd be down for that. This card's pretty sweet. I mean, it's like one of the reasons to play red-white if you end up there. So here we are going to grab a mask because the exorcism is so bad and we're not playing any of this other stuff. Kind of doubt we play it. I mean, I'm actually just going to stick it here for now. But it could happen. You know, it's funny. Like, the last several sets had really good equipment at common. And I kind of liked that because equipment is so often so bad and limited. But this set does not have it. It has, you know, the mask is like borderline, almost not playable. And the Bramble thing, the Bramble armor is like kind of playable. So Cathar's is good. We've got 2 Dawn Heart Wardens. We want to go wide. I think we're pretty happy to pick it up. We do need 2s, but things that go wide are really good for us when we've got 2 Dawn Heart Wardens. Hopefully in the last pack we'll pick up a bunch of good 2s, because we'll take Blessed Defiance here. Don't plan on playing it. I mean, yeah, we'll basically take any 1s and 2s that show up, like this one. That's a nice one, honestly. Especially because it can give you Coven on its own sometimes. I mean, you need one other thing in play, but its body plus putting a counter on something can often give you Coven when it looks like you're not going to be able to get it. Also, another card we can bounce with our Griff and get a tiny, tiny bit of value out of. All right, we'll grab another Cavalry. I kind of doubt we play 3, but it could happen. It could happen. It's not a bad card. I mean, it has trample like all the time. So, okay, interesting pick here. I mean, I think Dualcraft Trainer is the best card for us in this pack. Normally it would be, but because we need 2s so bad, I think we grab Harvesttide Sentry. I do like the Trainer, but it's, you know, it's good, but if we don't have enough 2-drops in this deck... I mean, I guess we're at 2 2-drops and 2 1-drops at this point. How many 4s do we have? Just 2, and one of them's not really a 4. All right, I talked myself out of it. We're going to take the Trainer. I think the Trainer's enough better that I want it more than the Harvesttide Sentry. And, yeah. Silversmith is great. That is another 4, but it's another card that is just good anyway, and then it also just happens to give you Coven pretty effectively. All right, so Gavany... Ooh, no. Actually, I think I'd rather have a Lunarch Veteran, our first Lunarch Veteran over our first Gavany Trapper. It's just a great common. You don't see them that often because people take them so highly. And it's definitely better in blue-white, but it does some work in this deck too, and I like it more than a second Trapper. All right, so we're getting 2s, which is good. We've got Outland Liberator and Candlegrove Witch here. I think the Witch is honestly a little better. There just aren't enough artifacts and enchantments in this format to be worried about. That I think a thing that has flying some of the time is better than a thing that's a 3/3 sometimes, which is basically what we're looking at. So I think we take Candlegrove Witch here. It's also a human. I guess they both are, but... The Sentry might wheel. That would be cool. Ooh. Okay, so there are some nice things here. I think we want the Chaplain most of all. It's another great 1-drop. Candle Trap's not bad, but it's been, you know, in a format with sack effects and stuff, it's been less good than normal. I like Chaplain more overall. We're doing well now on our curve, so taking some more expensive things won't feel too bad. Yeah. I don't think we're going to end up playing that Howl of the Hunt. I hope we don't, anyway. We already have enough playables that it's, like, impossible, so... Got a lot of 1s, which is good. I mean, we really do want to be curving out with this thing. Okay, so there's another duel for dominance. Our creatures aren't massive in this color pair, but they're decent sized. Another Evolving Wilds would make our mana better. But in a world where we've got 4 1-drops, it's probably not really worth it. And I don't like Blessed Defiance. I think we just take the duel in the end. If we were splashing, it would be worth it to have 2 Evolving Wilds. But And I think in any deck, usually running 2 Evolving Wilds is fine, but we just have so many ones that I'm a little less interested in doing it. Graphkeeper's great. These, we could have had 3 Root Coil Creepers and maybe a pretty good blue-green deck in this draft. I think we're pretty happy to take the Sentry here, though. Oh, another Flare of Faith is something I'm interested in, I think. Yeah, we've got 17 humans, so I think we probably grab Flare of Faith over Tireless Hauler. I loved getting another Sentry here, too. This deck's looking like it's going to shape up to be a pretty nice little aggro deck with some, bunch of Coven stuff going on. So there's another Might of the Old Ways here, but I think 2 Flares and 1 Might is probably about my limit. Granted, Bird Admirer, not amazing in this deck. We may even end up cutting ours just because it's not very aggressive. I think I'll take Might in the end there. Oh, I guess I grabbed Bird Admirer. Alright, so I think this is pretty much our deck. Oh yeah, we'll have to play the games with this deck tomorrow because I forgot that I'm ending the stream early today because OU Texas is at 11 a.m. my time. You can't like the decks. Hey, today our first deck we drafted we liked and we did well. So all right. Yeah, I mean I don't think we really need Bird Admirers in this deck. We're interested in beating people down, and Bird Admirer isn't about that. So those, I think, are pretty easy cuts. Yeah, I'm glad we picked up that trainer, because in the end we ended up with plenty of 2s and stuff. It could have gone the other way. There have been times where I make that pick where I'm like, I guess I'm going to give up this 2-drop to take a more powerful card. And then it's like, wow, I didn't pick up any 2-drops in that pack. But it didn't go that way. We got a lot of 1s and 2s in that last pack. Oh, yeah, we don't want the mask either. More Cathars would have been kind of nice with 2 Dawnheart Wardens. Probably don't need Bounding Wolf. It's pretty subpar. Silversmith, another thing we can rebuy with our Griff. We definitely ended up with enough. And then I'd probably go down to 2 Cavalry. I could go down to 1 and 16 lands, it's true, but I think having some legit top curve is worth it because we don't really have it otherwise. I mean, our other cards just aren't going to take over games. I mean, this doesn't exactly take over games, but it does a better job of sort of closing out a game than most of our other stuff does. So I think I'm okay with it. $18 creatures. 16 of them are human. Which is awesome. We almost, because we have so many humans, I wish I could trade in our Might of the Old Ways for a 3rd Flare of Faith, but I don't think that's how Limited works. Alright, so this will be our deck. Like I said, we'll be playing the games with it tomorrow rather than today, so in tomorrow's stream we'll play the games. I think it looks like a pretty good deck overall, though. I think, 5-3 seems like a reasonable expectation. One of the nice things about these really aggressive decks is that it's actually a pretty good matchup against blue-black if you just curve out against them. Oftentimes they just can't beat you because, they're playing things that can't block and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Okay, yep, this looks reasonable to me. We can get Coven pretty easily by turn 4 if our board isn't messed with at all. It's kind of unlikely it's not messed with at all, but I think we should be able to do a reasonable job. So, I'm going to lead with the Sentry. If they're playing red or something, I mean, and they could be, we don't know. This dying to Neonate's Rush is a pretty bad feeling. So, hopefully they're not playing red. That's kind of how I feel there. Do I Timberland Guide to make it a 4-2? It's going to be harder to block soon, but not that much harder. Yeah, we're going to need that fourth land pretty badly. I feel like I'm probably going to avoid putting all my eggs in one basket here with our Sentry. I think just playing Timberland Guide and putting the counter on itself is fine. Oh, I forgot I should probably have just played Search Party Captain there. So they are playing red. Luckily, it's not a Neonate's Rush, so we have that going for us. It's a pretty good draw, but we actually don't have Coven from it. So there's that. I think we still play it. I mean, I could play the Captain instead. I could just attack as well. I think attacking makes some sense here. If they block Timberland Guide, for example, Clear Shot could mess things up significantly for them. So I'm just going to attack. As I say, they probably block our Sentry and not the Guide, but that's okay. Yeah. So then we'll play Dawnheart Wardens. We could play Search Party Captain instead. But I think we play the Wardens. Yeah, I was gonna say, removal seems reasonably likely. That's aggressive use of that token. I mean, if you're in blue-red, you're a lot less likely to get, like, real value out of it, I guess, is the idea there. Okay. Well, let's attack. Then we'll play Clarion Cathars. And I think we're going to be in pretty good shape because now we have Coven. Well, that doesn't hurt our feelings too much. Huh, so they also play black, it would appear. Right. I think Timberland Guide, pump the token, attack with both. Play Search Party Captain seems pretty good. I could use Clear Shot to just outright kill it and not give up my Cathars, but that doesn't really seem worth it to me. So let's attack with both of these. Yeah, they block the Cathars, as one would expect. Yeah. Death Touch is annoying, isn't it? Freaking Death Touch. So, favorite card. Nice. What is my favorite card? I mean, I still really like Midnight or Ominous Roost, even though I haven't done anything with it myself. I wonder if they have a sweeper. I mean, I could live with it if they did. Maybe. It wouldn't be good. Okay, alright. So, we probably just discard the Chaplain because it, like, doesn't do anything in our hand. Like, the not disturb version of the card isn't especially good in this situation. Alright, so grab a forest. Alright, we got some options here, so we can Clear Shot. No, that doesn't work, actually. I was thinking I don't have a way to get Coven right now is our problem. Dual plus Clear Shot won't do it. Wait. Wait a second. So we can swing for 5. If I cast Clear Shot, let the Pump resolve, then cast Duel for Dominance, then I do have Coven, but I also end up giving up 2 cards in a situation where I'm not sure it really makes sense to do it. So, yeah. Thank you for the resub, Rocket Man. I think we just play our Chaplain here and end our turn. If it was lethal, obviously it's worth doing, but without lethal, I don't really think it is. My biggest surprise undervalued card, it might be Larder Zombie. That card has been surprisingly effective. I mean, it's not a great card, but I thought it was unplayable. So that's a pretty big gap between, like, solid playable. Okay. So they kill that. Okay, well, that is interesting for us right there. Now this will work. We're going to kill both those creatures now because it makes sense to do it. So we use Clear Shot on Search Party Captain to kill the Abomination. Yeah, and then we have 1, 2, and 3. And then we also use Duel for Dominance. All right, so I think we just swing here. So if they block Search Party Captain, we probably play Loyal Griff and bounce it to our hands and then just replay it again. Yeah, seems pretty good. Because we can then play it for only 1 mana. So unless they have Burn Down the House, I think they're dead. Especially because we have Dawnheart Wardens in our hand. Nice. I did do a whole video on my channel about, like, overperformers. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Like, big overperformers. Larder Zombie is definitely the one that comes to my head the most, just because it looks like it would be unplayable, but it's really not. Yeah. I mean, all those things, like, I haven't underrated Siege Zombie, for example, and Scob Wrangler and stuff like that, but those weren't massive, like Larder Zombie. I mean, they're pretty big, because I think I gave them both. I think I gave Siege Zombie a C, and I think I gave... Well, Festival Crasher is also overperformed, but I don't think, like, a crazy amount. But it has definitely overperformed. Yeah, thank you. That OU game was crazy. Talk about stressful, but they won in the end, so... So we're on the draw. I think this is keepable on the draw. We can play 2 cards in our hand, and if we draw white, we're in golden. So... And we did it, so there you go. And we can actually curve out... You know, the awkward thing about Harvesttide Sentry that we've encountered twice now is it has 3 power and so does our Wardens, so curving out with it hasn't really gone the way we would have liked. Okay, so I think we attack here. We'll pump it if they block, and if they don't block, we'll play Harvesttide Sentry. So they can sort of time walk us in a way if they block, but it's not really worth it. So we're up against a blue-green mill deck. Yeah, that game was crazy. At the end of the first quarter, they were down 28-7. And I was at the point in that game where I was like, if Texas scores another touchdown, I don't know if I can keep watching this. And then somehow they turned that situation into a game they won, which was crazy. So I can get Coven here if I play my Griff, but that doesn't really seem worth it to me. I think we probably just attack with both here. And, well, probably just the Wolf, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, so we'll get in, chip in for the 1 there. And then I think we'll play the Wardens. Next turn I'll be able to turn on Coven either by playing our Search Party Captain in our first main phase or Loyal Griff in our second main phase. Or either of them in our first main phase is what I mean. The other option is that I could leave up Loyal Griff and then play the Wardens on our turn and get the buff. That has some value. Is that better? It might be. Yeah, that seems pretty good. I think we'll end our turn. It's not like the Wardens can attack that well on the ground, so pumping Loyal Griff in the air, pretty appealing. Yeah, that's an annoying card. Alright, so they've got a bunch of mana of whatever colors they want right now. Alright, so then we're going to flash in Loyal Griff. We're not going to return anything. And then we'll play our Wardens. These two are both unblockable here, so... So we smash in for 7. They have a lot of mana, and I don't like it. We need to kill them quickly, and I've kind of already missed the boat on killing them quickly, so good luck to us. Alright, so we take 2 here. Candlegrove Witch will be pretty good. We should be able to... We'll probably be able to double spell this turn, which is cool. So let's go to combat. So if we lose our 3... No, never mind. We already have a 3. So they can trade with our sentry if they want to. Interesting. So I could also attack with Snarling Wolf, because it can pump its power up to 4. That seems pretty good, actually. I guess it does mean we lose a power, but would be kind of okay with that. All right. So we'll do this. That works pretty well for us. And yeah, we should still be able to double spell here. So we'll play Search Party Captain. Okay. So I think another flyer seems better than the Trapper right now. Yeah, we're not too worried about that in this situation. They did just give us a Lunarch Veteran in our graveyard. Alright, so do we just win now, pretty much? Well, now we... I feel like we definitely do now. So kill 1 blocker and swing out. It's definitely worth swinging out either way, but... So if I kill the Root Coil Creeper, they've got 1 blocker. Yeah, so... I think we play our Veteran so we can gain back any life we might lose. But I think this is what we do here. I think we want to put the counter on a flyer. They have 1 mana. Okay, I was going to say, they do have 1 mana, but there's not much they could do. This deck's off to a good start. I like it. But yeah, a lot of crazy college football yesterday. I really only closely watched OU Texas because that was a game that really mattered to me, but A&M took down Alabama, which was good news for OU. But also, football is crazy because A&M lost to, like, Mississippi State, like, a week ago. And then they beat, presumably, one of the best teams in the country. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of Bama fans are in shock today. It was a shocking loss. You know, one is just used to seeing them somehow navigate their way out of a bad start like that. And they got close to doing it, but they didn't quite get there. I think I'd probably play the Wolf first. It's a little better of an attacker next turn. Well, yeah, I think we'll play the Wolf first. Okay, so got a few different ways we can curve out if we want to. We're gonna attack with our Wolf here. So Farmhand fetches us white. I'm not, like, desperate for that right now. And if I play another creature next turn, like our 3-power creature, I can give Flying to Candlegrove Witch. Alternatively, I could play this now and then the Witch, and then gets Covenant can't be blocked, but this is more likely to be unable to be blocked, so I think that's what I go with here. Thank you for the follow, Jarl Rook. And Owen Die. Ooh, they're stuck on 2. We should be able to press on the gas. They may not be completely stuck on 2. They could have Startle. I kind of think the safer move here is going to be to play Harvesttide Sentry and Chaplain of Alms as opposed to, like, attack with my Wolf and hope things work out for me. So, yeah, I think we play Harvesttide Sentry here to get Coven and then attack with our Witch. I mean, I guess trading the Wolf really isn't that bad, but I'm not going to do it if I don't have to. Alright, so flip the switch is very likely right here. Alright, so we're just taking 1. There's, like, no reason for us to try to, like, get fancy there. Okay. Now I wish I had a little, but we still have a really good attack, and it just got even better. Let's play our Farmhand and grab a Plains. Glad you enjoy the content. You're all Rook. Okay, so this is unblockable. You're unblockable. I could just kill the blocker here and swing, but it actually doesn't do that much additional damage because these are already unblockable. So it may not really be worth it. It's probably not. And I can still attack. I could even attack with my Wolf here. So, yeah. I don't think it's really worth dueling right now. They can block and make their mob a 2/2 if they want, but yeah. Do I want to leave up duel just in case? Kind of think I do. Yeah. We'll leave up duel here. So we can transform this in the near future. Like, you know, next turn, conceivably. So, transform our Farmhand, kill Gale Drifter with Duel for Dominance is probably our turn here. Yeah, so we'll transform this. Does it cost 4? No, it costs the same amount I thought it did. It looked like it was showing that they were gonna make me pay 4 for it. Duel for dominance. Target our creature. Target Gale Drifter. So their mob gets bigger. But we can still crack in for 5. Do I want to attack with the Cathar? It's probably not worth it. I don't imagine it's worth it. Yeah, no. I mean, if all they do is Whale Drifter here, we would be pretty happy. I'd be down. I'd be down for that. I mean, if that's all they have, they're dead, so I kind of doubt that's all they have. Sludge Monster is definitely a pain. Yeah, that's a problem. Kind of feels like we swing out here. If they let us get our flyer, well, they can put a sludge token on it, but they have to block in ugly ways, mostly. So, yeah. I think swing out here makes sense. I wish we had a trick. That would make things much easier on us here, but I think we're still in pretty good shape. It's a little tricky, but not that tricky. I mean, they can only block 3 creatures. They're gonna block the 4, the 3, and the potential 3. Go to 3. These will both be dead. So, yeah. Okay, well, that actually works okay for us because we get to save our Snarling Wolf. And we'll play a Lunarch Veteran. So it can attack and put a sludge counter on a thing. But they're going to need more than that to not die. I'm surprised they didn't block this with the sludge monster. Oh, that's... If they can find a way to get Coven here, that's going to be really annoying. But I guess they have to tap more mana to get to the point where they can get Coven, so it's unlikely. And attacking with the Sludge Monster to make something smaller is tough to do in this situation, too, because they need a blocker. So, alright, Sun Gold Barrage. I think that means you are dead. Well, not quite. I guess they will go to 1 here. Okay. You know, one of the real hallmarks of this deck frequently is the tricks. And we've been winning without them, and I think that's a good sign. We've just been curving out and getting Coven and having a good time. But the tricks are going to be backbreaking. Like in situations like that, it makes the game unwinnable, basically. Alright, pretty good. You know, maybe a little more spell heavy than I would like. But, you know. Yeah, not drawing a 2-drop there is a little rough. So we're just going to pump this. We don't have mana to do anything else worthwhile anyway. Thank you for the follow, Davo Twitch and Brushwag42. Anybody else I'm missing? Thank you too. If you're watching because Wizards is hosting the stream, that's a good draw because we weren't going to have anything to do. If you're watching because Wizards is hosting the stream, you're not familiar with me. I also have a YouTube channel you should check out, Nitsahone Magic. Do top 10 lists. I do limited content. This will be a draft video, for example. Okay, so they're probably leaving up mana for Flip the Switch here. Keep that in mind. So, but yeah, check out the channel if you want a bunch of great Magic content, etc. So, I think we rumble here. They could have, like, Nebelgast Intruder. So, can I completely play around... Can I completely play around Flip the Switch here? I don't think I can. I think we try to go for it here with our Search Party Captain. We have to get rid of it somehow. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't feel great, especially if we don't draw a 5th land or another creature we can play, but it's, like, acceptable. We did draw a 5th land. So I could just clear shot that 4/4, but I think I just play Candlelit Cavalry here. And then that sets up clear shot and Duel for Dominance to be significantly more potent tomorrow. Next turn. Figuratively. I guess the night and day thing has me confused. So they are Sultai. Seem pretty deep in all 3 colors. You don't see a lot of that in this format. Man, why you gotta leave mana up? What's that about? I don't like it. Alright, so play our Veteran here. It gives us Coven, if they let it happen. Things can go really wrong with the amount of mana they have up right now. I mean, you know, if they were tapped out, I could completely wreck combat here with Clear Shot and Duel for Dominance, but they're in a color pair that has multiple ways to interact with us right now. I think I just attack with the Cavalry because they can't block and kill it normally. They're going to need to do something to kill it. Or actually they can because of these two. I think I still do it and kind of hope we can... Yeah, we're going to do it. So do I try to interact here? And if I do, how do I do it? What's the way I get blown out the least? So I could use Duel on my Dawnheart Wardens to kill Larder Zombie. I could even use it, I guess Duel on Lunarch Veteran to kill Larder Zombie isn't even that bad. That might be our least blowy out outcome here. Because they're going to bounce something, and what we don't want to happen is... Or they're going to bounce something, or they're going to kill or counter. And I think using Duel to kill this token, using our Lunarch Veteran is the safest way to go. Yeah. So, that's what we're going to try here. I guess if they turn off... Okay. We're actually going to use it on Dawnheart Wardens, because if they turn off Coven in response, then we're going to be real trouble. Please don't be able to interact. I mean, they almost definitely can, is the thing. This blue-black deck is a monster. Man, if that's all they can do, we're going to be ecstatic. I highly doubt that's it, though. Highly doubt it. So yeah, if they'd killed my Veteran in response, that would have been nightmarish. They have reduced their options, so that's a thing. They only have 2 mana. Is this actually going to work? Like 100%? I would think yeah, I don't think they do have a response. But I feel like if they didn't, they would have just let it resolve by now. Or they're mad. I don't know. So the good thing about this is, like, if I used my cavalry to do the fight and they had a bounce spell, everything would be messed up. Okay. We'll take that. That was the best they could do. I still get the counter, which is good. And we do 6 to them, which is also good. So I think we're okay with that being the outcome. I mean, it would have been better if it just blew them up, but, you know. What we really need them to do is tap out. That's what we really need them to do. Then we can clear shot something and maybe swing for lethal. Problem is, they still have Corpse Cobble, like, you know, as a... they could make a 7/7 right now, so... that part's not great. They paid the normal amount to do that. Okay, so... they are tapped out. Okay, and we can get Coven again, too, which is great. So we play our Witch here. And I guess we clear shot the 5/5 out of the way. Yeah. And then attack with Dawnheart Wardens, which will have 5 power. So if they tap out here, we can hit them for an additional damage, which is pretty relevant. Oh, they are gonna tap their blockers. So we're gonna drop them to 3 here. Yeah, haste would be cool. So they had to bottom Ludovic, so obviously what they're looking for is, like, removal. Actually, we hit them for lethal, yeah. I don't know why they did that. I mean, surveilling is nice, but if they left back their 1/3, they were in, like, way better shape. Like, I don't think surveilling was worth losing a turn. But I don't know. Maybe they knew they were dead on the subsequent turn unless they found what they really needed. I don't know. I think they had nothing too, but they would have lived a turn and drawn a card at least. And actually would have been Ludwig. I don't know if they had enough mana to transform it, but it's a pretty good hand. You know, 1-drop, 2-drop. Got our one really big creature. Yeah, they did literally have nothing, which was shocking. You know, blue-black not being able to interact is kind of crazy, actually. I'm kind of tempted to play our Chaplain here, because putting a counter on it is a lot more meaningful. I might do that, and then play our Wilds, instead of playing Timberland Guide. I think that seems pretty good. Yeah. Then we'll play the Chaplain. Play Evolving Wilds. That card is kind of a problem. Doesn't really matter what we get. We already have 2 of both, so... okay. So yeah, we play Timberland Guide here. Put a counter on Chaplain. Attack with the Chaplain. So next turn... that's annoying. Yeah, so we play Dawnheart Wardens here. We don't have an attack, unfortunately. But we will next turn. Plus, you know, we'll have Duel for Dominance as an option if we want it. Okay. We're not too broken up about that. I guess they're like, what if they have the farmer? Fair enough. It's a bit of a bummer. Okay. So... attack with our chaplain. Play Candlelit Cavalry. And then next turn we'll have our duel ready to go. What they really want to do is use that on one of these when they die. That's like the best value play. Okay, wow. Well, that was a really good draw. So we play Dawnheart Wardens. Then we kill the 2/4 and swing with everything. Yeah. So we use Duel for Dominance. Yeah. We want to use the Wardens to do it so that everything can attack without fear of not being able to trade. So, yeah, target a creature you control, target a creature you don't control. All right. That was a very good draw. I mean, we're in pretty good shape either way, but drawing another Dawnheart Wardens there was... it was probably the best card in our deck because it suddenly made our whole board capable of attacking. Nice hand. So we've got a nice curve out. It's still really weird. This is the first time we've seen a trick, and we have 3. Isn't that weird? We're like 5 games in, and that's the first trick we've seen. So we lead with the Chaplain because it's more likely to be able to attack, and every bit of damage matters. It matters more in this deck than gaining life does, generally speaking. So... play our farmhand here. And we will grab a Plains. I love this card. I mean, you know, I knew I loved it, but playing... this is... I think this might be the first time I've gotten one. And it's been real nice. It's weird when there's an uncommon that you haven't seen 25 drafts in, but... I think this is one of them. I mean, I've seen my opponent play it. I haven't played it myself, though. So, what's going on over there, I wonder? Okay. Be that way. So we'll attack with our farmhand and then play Search Party Captain. It is a pretty low value candle. I mean, the idea behind it is that I also won't get the graveyard creature, which is true. The problem with doing it in this format in general is that lots of decks have sacrifice effects. We don't. We're green-white, so Candle Trap is actually pretty decent against us. Although, it doesn't turn off cards with... ooh, that's not good. That is not good. It doesn't turn off Coven entirely, so that matters. But yeah, this is a tough card to beat sometimes. We'll see if we can do it. We're going to attack with our farmhand. They're not going to block. We would be ecstatic if they did, of course. So then we play Lunarch Veteran. Look at all these 1/1s. So we do have removal, of course. We've seen it a lot this draft. Probably an inordinate amount of it, actually. Alright. So we go to combat. Oh, you have first strike now, but this gives indestructible, so that's not a complete disaster. Yeah, so I think we attack. Okay, well, looks like they're going to make us use our Flare of Faith in a less impressive way here. If I'd played my guide first, I could have transformed this. I actually still can potentially transform it at instant speed, depending on what they do here. Oh, no, I can't, because Flare of Faith. Yeah, I can't do both. See how they block here. So, it's probably worth using the Flare here. Drop them to 16. Who do I want to buff? So, probably the farmhand, because it'll keep the counter when it transforms. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot that's a thing. Whoops. Yeah, that's not good. I mean, yeah. We really need to draw one of our kill spells, or this is going to continue to brutalize us. We do get these enter the battlefield triggers back, should we ever kill it. Oh, every time it transforms, it gets to, every time it becomes Brutal Cathar, it gets to, exile another thing. That's how it works, unfortunately. So they can just, like, pass every turn they want to exile something. It's pretty gross if we never draw removal. And the way our board looks right now, removing it is not particularly easy. So, like here, they can just pass the turn to exile our cavalry. Because all our removal in our deck is dependent upon a creature having enough power. Yeah, I know I can block with the candle creature. I probably should have, I guess. Because that may have been our only shot at doing it. Because they make it Coven now. So they're just going to pass and get rid of our cavalry here is what's going to happen. Or maybe not. It doesn't work that way. That's not how it works. Of course, it's not how it works. I knew that. So this will be interesting. So we play our dual craft trainer here. Go to combat. I mean, I know how this works. It's funny, like, with cards like this. I know how it works from my set review, but then, like, when the game situation happens, I'm like, what's happening? So we give this double strike, which is a big deal. Now it's a 5/5 with double strike and trample. So I think we just rumble. If they don't have a way to block... I mean, if they block with Moonrage Brute, both our creatures die, but then I get back everything they've exiled. So we're down with that. And I do 1 damage, I think. So they're just going to take 10. That makes sense, I guess. We're down with that. And we can even leave mana up for the Trapper, although the Moonrage Brute has Ward, so... Yeah, it has First Strike on the back, plus Ward. Oh, it's only ward pay 3 life, so I can actually tap it. That was stupid of me. I need to read some cards, man. I played pretty well in this draft up until this point. Now I'm like making all kinds of questionable plays. Alright, so I think... So their Moonrage Brute is going to transform here. That much is clear. However, I can tap down enough stuff that... So we're going to tap it, and we're going to pay 3. So they can exile our cavalry, but we're still going to have Coven. Oh, they're going to exile the trainer. Makes sense, I guess. That was not a good draw. We needed to draw something pretty real there. Alright. So we're going to tap down the Wardens. They don't have a good block for that. I think swinging out actually makes sense here. Yeah. So they go to 3. I'll hold on to this land for bluffing purposes. Well, crap. They just double spelled again, so it's going to transform again. And we are kind of out of... Even if we draw a kill spell, it's not going to do a great job. Brutal Cathar has defeated us, I think. I mean, we're not dead yet. We're at 13 after all. And we do, now if we draw a kill spell, we can actually use it. That matters a little bit. Yeah, so we just take the 4 here. We're going to tap down, I guess, the Cathar. Well, we've drawn pretty well today. We can't be too angry here. So we're going to pass. So I think we're dead now. I played poorly. I drew poorly. These things are going to happen. I was kind of hoping they'd be overly cautious there or something, but didn't go that way. Five to 1. 5 and 1. It's pretty good. I would like to... If we could trophy, that'd be cool. Brutal Cathar is brutal. I mean, it's a set definitely swingy, because, like, if we had ever drawn removal... This is a pretty good hand. If we ever drew removal, we win, basically. And there were several turns where drawing the removal would have done it. Like, where we had a big enough creature on board that we could do it. But, yeah. Thank you for the follow. Minty Fresh Bloom, Reagan Wolk, Brushwag 42. I hope they don't have the 1 mana deal 2. I think they might. They do. Darn it. That's some efficiency right there. Alright, I like drawing another creature when we didn't have one. Yeah, the Cathar is a bomb, for sure. That's the first time I've played with or against it, and it performed as advertised, basically. I don't really think I want to block that. It's interesting. They could have attacked. With the Cavalier, but I guess they didn't want to trade. But I don't know. I think playing both, attacking, I block that, really isn't that bad for them. I would take 4 and lose my only creature. Anyway, I guess I'm gonna attack here first of all. Then we'll play our trainer. It can block that pretty well. Now, they could just pay 4 to make this unable to block, and then attack with both, and then this will get a counter, which would not be great for us. Yeah. But, and that may be what they do here. I mean, it would become a serious race at that point. Yeah, I mean, if you have the kill spell there, you gotta use it and just bash. So that's what they do. Gosh. 1 white mana bottleneck is not awesome. Okay, so I guess I'm not gonna attack. I probably need to stop attacking. Yeah. Then I think I'm going to play the... Well, Gavany Trapper is actually pretty good. Yeah, I think we play the Trapper. It might be too late, but I'm hopeful it can help us neutralize one of these threats. Well, mostly the Cavalier. So yeah, red-white decks, if you can get yourself some Moonragers Slash and some Sunrise Cavaliers, you're usually in business. Alright, so we're going to take 2. It's going to grow to a 4/4, I guess. Maybe. No. That makes sense. Yep. Yep. Interesting. Sort of. So an attack here isn't terrible. It's not great. I mean, they're just going to take 3 is the thing. Yeah, it's not good. This is not good. So I think we just pass, leave up our mana to tap it, and then we can also do some Flare of Faith. You don't want to use Flare of Faith defensively, I can tell you that much. But I think that's where we are. So they may just make our Sentry unable to block, and that would be pretty gross. Okay, so options here. Well, I think we just use Duel to fight their Cavalier. That makes this dead. That makes the Cavalier dead. And then they won't draw a card or do a damage to us. And then I can still use Flare of Faith if they decide to attack us. That seems pretty good. So I don't think I tap here. I take 3 either way, and if I can get them to attack with the Harrier, I get to kill their creature, so... So this turn might help us turn this thing around. We'll have to see. It's definitely a possibility. Am I willing to take another 3 here just to play a big boy? Probably. Yeah, the plan is to tap the Griff from here on out, but I think adding a threat to the board before I start doing that... Oh, crap. Yeah, that's a problem. That's an even more problematic creature, and no matter what we tap now, we're dead. Because this can pump their whole board. Unless we double spell. We might be able to double spell if we draw a spell. You know, that... Oh, look at that. So we do have to take another 3, and that Fangblade Eviscerator is still going to be a good attacker, so it's not like we'll be in good shape. However... we'll be in better shape. We will be in better shape. But we're still probably dead, is the thing. I could attack with my cavalry, and maybe I just do. Because... yeah. I think we do. Okay, well that's why they said good game. Because they had burned the Accursed. Yeah, I mean... we got off to a 5-0 start, but now we've dropped 2 in a row. Yeah, when they were saying that, I was hoping they were just forgetting that their creature was going to turn back into a... not being able to pump their whole board, but... turns out they just had lethal. They just had lethal. That is a bad hand. I mean, if we draw up planes, it's fine, but only having 1 green card in it makes it so we're in a complete disaster if we don't draw planes. So I think we mulligan. This is much, much better. Which trick do I want to keep? Probably Flare of Faith with all these humans in our hand. Uh-oh. I've had to deal with this once in the format, and it did not go well. Turn 1 Champion of the Perished. Not what you want to be dealing with. Yeah. It's not looking good for us to do better than 5 and 3. So I want to play the Sentry because it can hold back the champion even if it gets a 1-tech counter. But if they play Vulturous Zombie here, it's going to be a 4-4. Okay. Well, that'll make it a 4-4 too. Turn 1 Champion of the Perished. If you can't kill it, in a blue-black deck is just going to wreck you. Like, that's just how it goes. Yeah, if you have removal for the champion, it's really not that big of a problem, but, you know, we don't. And trying to be a little tricky here and leave up mana to, like, use Flare of Faith is a horrible idea against blue-black because they have so much interaction. So I think we just play this farmhand. It will slightly increase our chances of finding a removal spell, but the champion's going to be so big that I'm not sure it'll matter. Yeah, I guess they could have done that at instant speed, which would have been utterly ridiculous. Uh-oh. Yeah, they got the whole package, I'd say. Scab Wrangler, Ecstatic Awakener, Siege Zombie, Champion of the Perished. Not exactly what you want to be looking at here. We're going to play our Silversmith just so we can have the satisfying feeling, you know. And we're dead. 5-3. Starting out 5-0 and then losing 3 in a row is kind of rough, but 5-3 does allow one to more than break even, so I can't complain too much. And that was, you know, green-white is a solid archetype in the format. It's not one of the elite ones, so anytime you break even or better with it, you feel okay about it. That deck was pretty sweet, obviously, so not going to complain. We didn't have any rares to speak of. That would have been... some random bomb would have helped.